Hey my little panda cubs, welcome back to today's Scout Learns, the series where we take a look at the game's mechanics, biomes, modifiers, weapons and bestiary, the creatures, from a scout's perspective. And today we're going to take a look at the unknown horror.
An ass over here and hurry, please. This horror thinks it can kill us. Let's prove it wrong. What is this abomination?
And see how we, as scouts, can best deal with the unknown horror. So what do we know about the unknown horror? Well, we know it's translucent, that is, it's mostly invisible, and in some biomes such as Azure Wheels it can actually be quite hard to see, but the telltale signs is its footsteps. As you can see, the footsteps are quite visible there. And a little trick I do, I usually flare it, like I stick a flare in it, because then you'll just see a walking flare. We also know it's immune to all attacks, and we know it's immune to pheromones. That is, it's not attracted by pheromones. So how do we as scouts best deal with the unknown horror? Well, the unknown horror will divide its attention between the 4 teammates. It'll focus on one dwarf at a time, and when it's on us, that's where it's our job to try and kite it away from the team as far as possible, as we're the most mobile. But also we've got a couple of cool tricks we can do with the unknown horror. Although it's not attracted by pheromones, if we take the pheromone grenade, or even better, like the bolt shark with the pheromone bolts, we can do this. This is really handy in swarms, for example. We can stick a pheromone bolt or 2 into the unknown horror, which will attract all the bugs to it. Now, unlike the bulk, the unknown horror won't actually attack the bugs attacking it, unless we do this with our grapple. If you time it right, we can make the unknown horror stomp and wipe out the entire swarm thanks to the pheromones. So that's one cool little trick we can do with the unknown horror to help our teammates. Sadly, it is immune to the boomerang. Unlike the bulk detonator, we can stop it in its tracks. With the boomerang, as you see here, if you throw the boomerang, it just won't hit it. So what else can we do as scouts to help our team in unknown horror modifier? Well, we can take electric bolts. As you can see here, a bolt or 2 into the unknown horror. It won't damage it, but it does slow it down significantly, and that's important, especially if the unknown horror is on a different teammate. I'd say if the unknown horror is on you, just kite it away, let it follow you at its full speed. But when it's on another teammate, stick a couple of electric bolts in it. Even throw down an AFG as well to slow it down even more. It pretty much stops in its track, leaving your team safe to do their mining or deal with the swarm or whatever they're doing, without having to worry about the unknown horror stomping them. And those 2 are really the only things we can do with the unknown horror. 3 things. Kite it away when it's on us. When it's not on us, hit it with electric bolts, then an AFG possibly, or take pheromone grenades or a pheromone bolts, pheromone it, and use your unknown horror, grapple past it to take out the swarm. Some of you are probably thinking, what about cryo? Well, yes, we can actually freeze the horror. As you see here, 2 cryo grenades freezes the horror, but it only lasts a couple of seconds. That's not really ammo efficient. We could take cryo bolts. As you see here, 4 bolts freezes it, but again, it only lasts a couple of seconds. It's not really worth it, but as I said, that's not really an efficient way to deal with it. You're better off just taking electric bolts and sticking a couple of those in it. Slows it right down, and an AFG as well to stop it in its tracks completely. And that, my babies, is the unknown horror and how we as scouts best tangle with it. Zippity!